flooding, strong wind, down trees, power outages. We are seeing all of it today. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us for Storm Center at noon. I'm Brian Yacono.
And I'm Amanda Hill. That storm we've been talking about all week is now here. Already, Central Maine Power is reporting just over 74,000 outages. Versant is reporting more than 3,000. We will be watching this situation closely, and of course, we'll keep you updated with the efforts to get that power restored.
As you can imagine, we have team coverage this afternoon. First, Chief Meteorologist Todd Guttner is in-house tracking the storm. He joins us with the latest. Hi, Todd.
Brian, good to see you. Amanda, always a pleasure. Yeah, those numbers probably will go up over 100,000 outages when this is all said and done. And it's because of this right here, the wind. We just had a gust to 64 miles per hour at the Portland Jetport. That's the highest yet. Across the rest of the state, we're gusting into the 40s and occasionally above 50 degrees. The mountains are the other area that I'm concerned about. Coastline is the second one. That's going to get battered throughout the rest of the day. Looking at the radar, we'll start across southern Maine. We're actually going to get into a little bit of a lull these next couple of hours as far as the rain goes. The wind will continue to whip off of the ocean. So it's much lighter rain and kind of spotty now for York County and coastal Cumberland, but still pouring for the Oxford Hills, Lewiston, Augusta, up to Waterville, and then into the mountains where it's now over to rain. Eastern Maine getting drenched with very heavy rainfall in Bangor down to the coastline. Rain snow line is up around Millinocket at the moment, about to go to all rain, even across far northern areas. So after this little lull passes, we'll get a second surge of rain with the front itself late this afternoon. This is 4 o'clock. More downpours expected. Wouldn't be shocked if there's a rumble of thunder too. And then the rain shuts down quickly. One last downpour or snow shower. That's the leading edge of the cold air. Check out what happens overnight tonight. Temperatures crash. We see a flash freeze, and tomorrow morning may be very icy just about everywhere. So that's the next concern for the weekend. One other concern is our coastline. We're going to go into Keith Carson. He's down along the York County coast. Keith, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but this tide is going to go down in the record books as one of the highest we've ever seen, and our records go back over 100 years.
Yeah, that corresponds to people I've talked to down here, everyone from the police officers that were blocking off roads to public works. They said this is the highest they've seen. These are spots that are obviously pretty prone to flooding, but we've taken it to the next level here. We're on the south side of Wells Beach, Fisherman's Cove out there. And this road, again, it gets splash over. It happens with storms, but we're now basically just dragging the ocean, and everything that was in there onto this road. And we're going to have some repairs before this road can reopen, because we've gotten enough water under it here that we're able to buckle the pavement. And if you actually look closely here, you'll see that probably what buckled this is that this rock got driven underneath the road itself. It washed out, the rock got pushed off this seawall here and then under into the pavement, and now it's cracked that up. So obviously they're going to have to do some repairs. That hole actually goes all the way across the double yellows down here. And it's kind of interesting, if you look closely, there's a manhole cover right here, and the manhole cover now is inset. It's way down into the road, so this whole piece has been pushed up. So what we had here is pretty simple, right? We had astronomically high tide, highest of the month, and we're just piling water waves on shore. The swell's offshore over 20 feet. So this is just one of those situations where you're pushing it farther than these seawalls can handle, and it's just beyond splash over, and it's washing out some of these roads. The worst of the conditions, of course, were 10:15 or so. That's when the high tide occurred. But even still, now we're an hour and a half or so from that high tide, and you can see we still have enough push, enough surge to push it out over the wall here. And if we go down farther here, you can actually see the water is still on the road there. So the damage is continuing. And those park benches over there, I think we're on the other side of the road at some point. It's hard to tell, but yeah, we definitely got some damage down here. There were crews actually trying to restore power here because they didn't have to go up on cherry pickers for some of these low power lines, so they were able to actually try to start work here and do so safely. So they're going to have some recovery going on here. As Todd mentioned, what's going to be really interesting, even in a spot like this right along the coast, later tonight, this is going to all freeze over. So you're going to get all of this to freeze over. The water Some of this obviously is salt, so that's going to be hard to freeze, but most of the rainwater is going to freeze, and underneath the road it will as well. So that'll be the next hazard before we get one more wind gust probably later this afternoon that will kick things through. All right, that's what's going on the southern coast. Let's go up the coast a bit. Bass Harbor, I believe, is where Carly is located right now. Carly, what are you seeing out there?
Hey Keith, we're here at the Bass Harbor Lighthouse in Tremont, and right now the rain is coming down pretty good. If you take a look here behind me at the ocean, these waves are just massive and they keep rocking along the coastline on this rocky shore here. And then if you take a look at the trees, you can see those are rocking pretty good, and this wind is just so strong it keeps jolting me at times. And I expect it's only just going to keep getting worse from here. The drive here from Bangor wasn't bad, but as we got closer to the coast, we could see the rain and wind really start to pick up, and the trees swaying were pretty good. We already saw one tree leaning on some power lines in the Southwest Harbor area. And then when we got here, we saw a man who told us over by Seawall Road, a part of it was shut down because there was already some flooding. He said there were some rocks in that area that were about this big, and he said just a portion of that road was closed off. But I imagine, as the day goes on and as this wind continues to pick up, it's just going to continue to get worse from here. But for now, I will send things back to Brian and Amanda in the studio.
Carly Dion live in Bass Harbor. Thank you, Carly.